Welcome back to the Daily Sigh. Happy Friday, Friday the 13th. Don't go out there and kill any Templars. This is your Daily Sigh of relief. If you're an entrepreneur trying to keep up with what actually matters, this is for you. I go live every single business day at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's right now. And to the very best of my ability, I give you everything that I think matters in the entrepreneurial world across business, AI, markets, platforms, and policies. And I try to do all of that in 15 minutes or less. And if there's time left over, we'll hang out, kick it, have a conversation. Feel free to drop your questions or comments into the chat. My goal in life is to help you achieve your definition of freedom. You can get the Daily Sigh delivered directly to your inbox by going to dailysigh.ai. Let's dive right in. Our top story doesn't sound sexy, but I think it's important for all of us to know. The SBA enacts a rule barring green card holders from loans. I'm still sick, y'all. I'm sorry. This is from Reuters. The SBA has officially restricted loan eligibility primarily to U.S. citizens effective February 12th. That was yesterday. This removes a bedrock funding pathway for thousands of immigrant entrepreneurs and business partners. Operators must immediately verify the status of partners on pending applications and pivot to private capital markets. Here's why I think this is so important. Because while U.S. citizens make up the majority of citizenry, green card holders have made up a significant percentage of SBA applicants. And I think it makes a lot of sense. You know, like the American dream is very entrepreneurial, and people that are new here tend to take the entrepreneurial route, especially if they don't necessarily have the foundational prerequisite, let's say, of existing citizens. The fact that green card holders are no longer allowed access to SBA funding, it means a bunch of things. It means, number one, we may see a decrease in the number of small businesses that are opened and or funded. Number two, the SBA still needs to deploy. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure they have deployment mandates. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong about that. And even if they don't have deployment mandates, SBA lenders want to deploy because that's how they make their money. And so there's going to be quite a bit more money available in the SBA world. And for those of you that are interested in purchasing real businesses, I think that this is a hell of a way to do it. You can get up to $5 million in SBA funding on a per category basis. And I think an unlimited amount of SBA funds, which is really interesting. So I think this is a good opportunity for a lot of people that are trying to figure out what their next thing to do is, given that we've had, what was it? This is one of the other episodes of the Daily Sigh. The number of layoffs has met and or exceeded the 2009 record. So, you know, we're at record high layoffs. And if you've got a 401k, you can borrow against that, coupled with some SBA funds, you now have your down payment and the bankroll you need to go buy a real business, which is what I'd recommend doing. Story 2 comes from the Morning Brew. Anthropic raises $30 billion at a $380 billion valuation. The AI infrastructure arms race is accelerating, with Anthropic's valuation more than doubling in its last round. Massive capital concentration in model builders will lead to higher downstream costs for SaaS application builders. Anthropic is leading the charge in the SaaS apocalypse, y'all. If you haven't played with Claude Code, it's amazing. I asked my mastermind this morning what everybody's favorite vibe coding tool was, and the two smartest guys I know, Matt Nye and Yvonne Boonin. Yvonne said Lovable, Matt said Claude Code. And Matt knows what the hell he's talking about. So if you haven't played with Claude Code, play with it. If you haven't played with Claude Cowork, it's amazing. You download Claude to your desktop and you tell it to do stuff and it does it. It's unbelievable. Y'all, you don't need to be technically proficient. That's the thing that I think a lot of people need to understand. You don't need to understand technology at all. As a matter of fact, it probably helps you not to. Because when you understand software, you try to talk to AI like it's software and it's not. You have to talk to it like it's an intelligent being, like it's a software developer sitting in front of you saying, "Hey, can you just do this? I don't even know how this works. Can you just do this thing for me?" And it'll do it. It's amazing. Vibe coding, I think, is one of the skills left that's still worth learning. If you want to learn how to vibe code for free, by the way, I own what I think is the largest vibe coding incubator on the planet. Just go to vcinc.ai and learn vibe coding for free. You're welcome. Story number 3 from This Week in Startups. AI procurement startup slashes COGS by 10%. New AI agents are automating procurement by scraping suppliers, negotiating on platforms like WeChat, and aggregating demand. This shifts procurement from a human-led cost center to an autonomous source of P&L leverage. The physical product businesses doubling factory volume via these agents can yield price cuts of up to 30%. This is amazing. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. I want to unpack it a little bit. The reason I think this is such a pertinent story is because this is a, what would you call it? This is a role that I never would have seen AI encroaching upon in such a short period of time. Like Procurement feels ultra high end to me. And the fact that you have AI agents that are automating procurement, but automating it, doing some of the things that feel very manual and non-scalable, like negotiating with providers. I think that's it's interesting just to see where AI can go. And the other thing that's interesting too is if the costs drop, so too will the price of those whatever it is that the AI is procuring. So that ends up being, something that leads a deflationary cycle. And we're going to keep talking about this deflationary cycle because I think that's one of the most important things to understand about AI. They talk about it all the time on Moonshots, the Peter Diamandis podcast, which I probably talk about every single time I go live. If you want to be really caught up, go listen to Moonshots. And one of the most important things to understand about what AI is going to do to the economic world is mass deflation. We've never experienced mass deflation ever. Ever. We've experienced micro deflation in temporary markets. We've never experienced mass deflation. Mass deflation just means that everything gets cheaper. And in some instances, it's going to happen overnight. It's already happening with certain types of software. It's already happening with certain types of labor. It's going to start happening with real goods, real products. And this is one of the things that will signal that when AI is leading procurement. AI brings about a level of efficiency that we have no answer for. All margin, if you really want to think about business this way, which is a fun way to think about it, all margin comes from inefficiency. Every dollar you've ever made has come from inefficiency. It comes from you bridging the inefficiency. It's, hey, I'm going to charge you to do this because I can do this better and faster than you can. But as we increase efficiency across every level of analysis, we put ourselves in a position of there being no margin, which is why deflation happens. And if you take that and you cascade it across, from, I don't know what, if there's 5 or 10 or 15 or 100 people in the supply chain, each one of them gets squeezed down to zero. And now we're seeing what things really cost. And things will cost, roughly speaking, about what they really cost. Take something benign, for example, like coffee. If you're buying, coffee and you're buying it from Latin America, somebody has to take the coffee off of the plant, and then somebody else has to process the coffee, and then somebody else has to store it, and then somebody else has to buy it from the person storing it, and then somebody else has to buy it from, to ship it, and so on and so forth. There's probably 10 or 15 or 20 people in that supply chain. And as AI automates the supply chain, you squeeze many of them, if not most of them, if not all of them, out. And you find out that, I paid $20 for a bag of organic coffee. Bet money that could get down to 10 and then 5 and then 2. That's deflation. That's where this is all headed, interestingly. And it's a double squeeze. It's like the trash compactor in Star Wars, except reverse, where everybody's getting laid off, but everything's costing a lot less. So I think the obvious answer ends up just being universal basic income, because a family of 4 is going to be able to live off of $2,500 a month USD in this country, assuming that everything tracks the way that it's going. At least that's the guess. That's the educated guess. From contextual data, ChatGPT 5.2 released with deep reasoning and memory. ChatGPT, in my opinion, has been lagging behind. I thought Anthropic, they're all playing leapfrog. Gemini shot up, Anthropic shot up. ChatGPT has been lagging behind. We'll see what happens with GPT 5.2. I've not played with it to any strong degree yet, but the update allows AI to manage complex projects autonomously without losing context over long durations, which has, I think, been one of ChatGPT's fatal flaws, is really it just forgets. This increases the pressure on established businesses to integrate agentic workflows or face radical efficiency gaps. Y'all, that is true. If you're not using AI, start right now today. Start poorly, but just talk to it. Just reserve 30 minutes a day to talk to it and ask it about your problems. It doesn't matter what it is. A customer asked me for a refund. What should I do? And then ChatGPT, if it's being smart, is going to ask, like, what do your agreements look like? What's the term of service? What's the context? Who's the customer? What's the future value of this prospect? What's the reputation risk, et cetera, et cetera. You can have those conversations with AI, and it's better than having it with most people, sadly. From Morning Brew, Google Wiz, $32 billion approved. Final regulatory approval for a massive cybersecurity payout. Validates continued high demand for specialized enterprise security. If you're not playing the safety game, I recommend you doing it at an absolute minimum. Go get yourself some business insurance, y'all. I use Hiscox, Hiscox. I have no dog in that fight. I'm not an affiliate, but I'm a big fan. They've bailed me out of a couple of issues now, and they're relatively cheap. I think we pay $3,000 a year for business insurance, and it just makes sure that if anything goes wrong, there's somebody that has your back. And they paid 80% of a $50,000 error that an employee of mine made 5 or 6 years ago. And honestly, I don't want to say it was 0 questions asked, but they made it really easy. I'm a big fan. especially with the way that AI is going and just how vulnerable all tech stacks are. Have business insurance in place, one. Two, do something from a cybersecurity perspective. Do something. Have, at least written policies as to how like information is supposed to be handled and stored. From Gartner, SaaS pricing shifts to outcome-based models. 70% of businesses are predicted to prefer usage-based over seat-based models, obviously. Entrepreneurs must audit tech stacks now as AI monetization shifts. Y'all, the SaaS apocalypse is real. If you're paying for SaaS tools, if you're paying for anything as a service, bet money a lot of these AI tools are able to do it in-app, meaning ChatGPT can just do whatever it is that you're paying something else to do. And if not, you can vibe code it yourself. So SaaS companies are in a lot of trouble. If you're a SaaS company, you know what I mean? Like, go build a moat. And a moat might look like a community or customer service or providing the service instead of the software. Go build yourself a moat. Or go start looking for a job. Reuters says Japan's potential rate hike risk. Executives are predicting end dates of decades ultra loose policy, major currency risk for any entrepreneur with Asian suppliers or customers. Y'all, currency fluctuations are going to be absolutely insane. We're seeing it with USD. We saw it with the gold. Gold hit, I think it's at $5,100 an ounce as of today. Silver did something similar and then dropped back down. Yeah, gold's at 5,060. Silver's at 78. I still think silver's massively underpriced. Let's see where Bitcoin is. Bitcoin. Nobody knows where to put the money. Doesn't feel like there's anywhere safe. Bitcoin's at 68 grand. Looks like 69 now. I just had this conversation with my buddy. He's probably one of the brightest financial minds I've ever known. And he and I are like, where do you go to put liquid? Like, what do you invest in? It doesn't seem like there are safe harbors at the moment. So I think I'd be really interested in your opinion. Where are you putting your money? Where are you investing? The S&P is being propped up by 8 companies, and I own all 8 of them, and it's still like, I don't know what to do here. I think precious metals are really helpful hedges, but they're also dangerous for a bunch of reasons too. Like, holding precious metals is dangerous, right? Like, I have everything locked away in a safe deposit box because I'd be too afraid to have it in my home. I don't want to be held hostage. Stocks are dangerous because they come and go. This weird lip service we give to the fact that the S&P is outperformed, like it's 11% every year. No, it's not really, because you've never frozen the number of companies. The S&P 500 changes. The companies drop off and get that's an inadequate measure. That's like saying, let's just measure only the 500 profitable companies. Well, okay, you're only ever going to see profit. There's no control group. That's a horrible scientific study. So that's your Daily Sigh. Let's see who joined us live. We got George. George is here often, dude. I appreciate you being here, George. Leandra, I just texted you today, Leandra. Hope you're living the dream. John, what's up, buddy? How's the Northeast? Hope you're crushing it. AP lice growth? It can't be lice. I don't know what it is, but I love you. Hannah, thanks for being here. Gigi's the franchise guide. What's up, brother? Enjoyed your podcast. Norman. George asks, did Google launch a load of new free AI apps, or is that old news? I don't know, dude. If they did, I don't know about it, and thank you for telling me. I know that at one point, Google merged everything into Gemini. So like Google Nano Banana, Google VO3, Google Code, all of it, they took everything that was in Google AI Studio and they put it all into Google Gemini. If they've launched, let me just ask right now. Thank you for the question. Did Google launch new AI apps today? Maybe I shouldn't have asked today. No, it wasn't today. They have launched some new stuff though. Gemini DeepThink, Google Labs tools, which has been around for a long, long time. If you haven't played with Google Workflow, by the way, it's super cool. If you're in the Google Apps space, if you use Google Apps, go look at Google Workflow. You can build automation inside of your Googles. Thanks for the question, George. Alex is here. What's up, Alex? Amanda's here. Hi, Amanda. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you and all your great questions. Looking at YouTube, there's Christine Marie. Christine Marie is the reason that I go live, by the way, every day. If you want to watch the best live of your life, go to YouTube and search for Christine Marie and the Knowing channel. It's so good. She's amazing. Chuck is here. Chuck, I don't know what you're saying, Chuck. I don't know if you're real, but God bless you. Incredible Man says hi. Dylan's here with some alphanumeric characters that don't seem to make any damn sense. That's it, y'all. That's the Daily Live. If you want, or the Daily Sigh, excuse me. If you want the Daily Sigh delivered directly to your inbox, go to dailysigh.ai. I go live every weekday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Happy Friday to you. Enjoy your weekend.